Ever catch yourself scrolling through your phone and wonder, like, what actually makes this thing tick?
Even besides your unrelenting urge to check social media?
Okay, yeah, fair point. But I'm talking about the little chip that's like the brain of the whole operation.
The unsung hero of the digital age.
Exactly. And today, we're diving deep into the world of ARM Holdings, the company behind those chips.
The company you probably haven't heard of, but whose tech is in, like, billions of devices worldwide.
No small feat. Luckily, we've got The Everything Blueprint by James Ashton to guide us.
A fascinating look at how this tech titan rose from, well, pretty humble beginnings.
It's a story full of twists and turns, rivalries, and a legacy that shapes how we live and connect today.
So buckle up, because we're time traveling back to the 1980s.
Ah, the 80s. Big hair, shoulder pads.
And the home computer craze.
Right. But where does ARM fit into all of this?
Oh, picture this. Home computers are the hot new thing. And in Britain, there's this BBC TV show, The Computer Program, that's basically introducing everyone to this new tech.
A whole TV show dedicated to computers? That's pretty niche, even for then.
You'd be surprised. It was hugely popular and actually played a big role in the rise of a little company called Acorn Computers.
And Acorn Computers eventually becomes...
ARM Holdings.
Wow, talk about an evolution. But how did they go from a small computer company to, well, this global chip powerhouse?
Acorn made a risky move, a real gamble. That changed everything. They went all in on this then obscure chip architecture called RISC,
RISC.
short for Reduced Instruction Set Computing.
Okay, and this was a gamble because...
Because back then, the big dog on the scene was CISC, Complex Instruction Set Computing.
So RISC was like the underdog trying to make a name for itself.
Exactly. Think of it this way. CISC is like a Swiss Army knife. It can do it all, but it's bulky.
And RISC.
More like a chef's knife. Sleek, fast, designed for efficiency.
Ah, so it's all about streamlining, focusing on what matters.
Precisely. And in the fast-paced world of tech, that's a big deal.
So Acorn goes all in on RISC, but did it pay off right away?
Not quite.
Yeah.
In 1990, they spun ARM out as a tiny subsidiary,
A company within a company.
basically. And get this, their plan wasn't even to manufacture these RISC chips. They wanted to license the designs to other companies.
Interesting strategy. So instead of making the chips themselves, they'd be providing the blueprint for others to build upon.
Exactly. But convincing those tech giants to use their untested technology, that was a whole other challenge.
I can imagine. It's a tough sell.
Those early years were tough. Financial struggles, near-miss acquisitions. Apple almost bought them at one point.
Apple, wow, what a sliding doors moment.
Right. If that deal had gone through, who knows what our devices would look like today.
It's amazing to think about. But they persevered, and I hear a certain partnership with Nokia really changed the game for them.
Oh, absolutely. And that's a story for the next part of our deep dive. Get ready to enter the wild world of mobile phones.
Okay, so ARM and Nokia joining forces to conquer the mobile world. But before we get into that, set the scene for us. What did the mobile landscape even look like back then?
Think like bricks with buttons.
Charming.
Yeah, phones were bulky, calls cost a fortune. And battery life, forget about it.
Measured in minutes, not hours.
Exactly. But the industry was on the verge of a massive shift with the arrival of GSM,
GSM being.
Global System for Mobile Communications. Basically, the technology that made modern mobile networks possible.
Right, so no more dropped calls and extortionate roaming charges.
Well, that's the idea. But there were still some hurdles to overcome.
Like,
Well, these new GSM phones needed much more processing power than those old analog dinosaurs. But they also needed to be energy efficient.
because nobody wants a phone that dies after 2 minutes of talking.
Exactly. And that's where ARM came in. Their low-power RISC architecture was the perfect fit for this new generation of mobile phones.
So Nokia was basically betting on the underdog, technology-wise.
In a way, yes. They saw the potential of ARM's chips to unlock a future where mobile phones were not only powerful, but also compact and energy efficient.
A bold move that paid off big time, I'd say.
Absolutely. Their collaboration led to the birth of a true game changer, the Nokia 6110.
Released in 1998, I actually remember that phone.
The first phone with an ARM-based processor.
It was a huge leap forward for mobile. People could suddenly send text messages, play games, and all on a device that could actually last a full day.
It was a pivotal moment for both Nokia and ARM. Nokia had its killer product, and ARM had proof that its technology could power the future of mobile.
While all of this was going on, another tech giant was making some, shall we say, interesting decisions about mobile.
We mean Intel.
The reigning king of the chip market at the time, but their approach to mobile was, well,
Short-sighted.
to put it mildly.
Intel was so focused on their powerful x86 processors for PCs and servers that they completely underestimated the mobile market. They thought it was just a fad.
It's almost hard to believe that now, looking back.
It just goes to show even the biggest players can be blindsided by innovation.
While Intel was busy protecting its turf, ARM was busy conquering a whole new world.
Exactly. Their low-power chips were the perfect fit for these increasingly sophisticated mobile devices.
And then came the iPhone in 2007. Talk about a revolution.
A true game changer.
Lovely.
And guess what was at the heart of it?
Let me guess.
An ARM-based processor.
Bingo. Even Apple, a company famous for its closed ecosystem, chose to license ARM's designs.
That's a pretty big endorsement.
It speaks volumes about the power and efficiency of ARM's technology. The iPhone's success cemented ARM's position as the leader in mobile processors.
From a risky bet on a new chip architecture to powering the device that redefined the mobile age. But ARM's ambitions didn't stop there, did they? They had bigger plans, so ARM was riding high on the mobile wave. But they weren't content to just rest on their laurels, were they?
Definitely not. They had this knack for anticipating what's next in the tech world.
Like a sixth sense for where technology was headed.
Exactly. Long before anyone was talking about the Internet of Things or smart homes, ARM recognized that basically everything would eventually be connected to the Internet. From fridges to cars to, I don't know, even toasters.
You name it. They saw the potential for connectivity everywhere.
Way ahead of the curve. But pivoting from mobile phones to the entire universe of connected devices, that's a big leap.
It is. But ARM had a secret weapon, their licensing model. Remember how they didn't actually manufacture chips?
Right, they provided the blueprints for others to build upon.
Exactly. That allowed them to quickly adapt and scale into these new markets.
So what were some of the areas they targeted beyond mobile?
Data centers were a big one. As the internet grew, so did the demand for massive data centers to store and process all that information.
And those data centers needed some serious processing power.
Exactly. And that's where ARM saw an opportunity to challenge Intel's dominance.
Going head-to-head with the reigning champ again? That's gutsy.
They knew it wouldn't be easy. Data centers have different requirements than smartphones. It's not just about power efficiency, it's about raw processing power.
So ARM had to adapt.
They designed chips specifically for data centers. Chips that could handle massive workloads while still being relatively energy efficient.
A delicate balance to strike. But they weren't just focused on data centers, right? They also had their sights on the automotive industry.
Absolutely. Cars were becoming increasingly computerized, with everything from engine control units to those fancy infotainment systems relying on powerful chips.
And now, with the rise of electric vehicles and self-driving cars, the demand for those chips has just exploded.
Exactly, and ARM is right there in the thick of it, providing the technology that's driving the future of mobility.
It's like they have a hand in every aspect of our tech-driven world. But then came this major shakeup, the SoftBank acquisition.
Yes. In 2016, SoftBank, Japanese tech giant, acquired ARM for a staggering $32 billion.
$32 billion. That's not just an investment, that's a statement. What were they hoping to achieve with that move?
SoftBank recognized that ARM was key to the future of not just mobile, but everything from artificial intelligence to the Internet of Things. They were making a long-term bet on ARM's ability to remain at the forefront of technology.
A bold vision, for sure. And then there was that whole saga with NVIDIA.
Oh, right. In 2020, NVIDIA, known for their graphics processing units, made a play to acquire ARM.
It was a deal that could have reshaped the entire semiconductor industry.
Absolutely. But it faced major regulatory hurdles, concerns about competition, innovation.
Right, the whole shebang.
And in the end, the deal fell through.
So after all these twists and turns, where does ARM stand today?
Still a major player in the tech world. Their technology is in billions of devices, and their licensing model continues to foster innovation across industries. Plus, their focus on energy efficiency has never been more relevant.
It's a remarkable journey, from a small British company to a global powerhouse shaping the future of technology.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it all started with that one simple but powerful idea, that less can be more. ARM's story is a testament to the power of innovation, adaptability, and challenging the status quo.
And it leaves us with a thought-provoking question. Could this model, this idea of democratizing technology through licensing, be applied to other industries?
What if we approach things like healthcare, energy, or even space exploration with the same spirit of collaboration and shared innovation? It's a fascinating thought experiment.
It really is. And that's a wrap on our deep dive into the fascinating world of ARM Holdings. Thanks for joining us.